Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Momsplanation. Today, we have a very important guest on.
Very important.
Yeah. She is a doctor, but that is not the reason that she's on. She is on the podcast because she is on a mission to help ease and end the crisis that plagues so many women and moms. And that crisis is anxiety, it's postpartum depression, it's anxiety, it's all of these things. So she has an amazing coaching program that she is doing, and it's just sort of getting going. Mm-hmm. Is that what it is?
Getting going
in the last 6 months or so. Anyways, her message is amazing. We had an incredible dialogue that was just as I like.
Yeah, relatable.
Honest, real,
so relatable.
Raw. Mm-hmm. It was a real delight to speak with her. Mm-hmm. So I'm super grateful. You guys need to listen. Check her out. We'll have all the information of where you can find her and get more info on her programs after the episode is over, and on our website and Instagram, etc., etc. Yep. So enjoy the episode, guys. It's a good one. Mm-hmm. And it led us to the topic of self-tanner at the end.
Yep. Why the self-tanner? Yeah. And the orange fingers.
Yeah. We feel like PSA.
Yeah. So note, if you're going to use a self-tanner, use gloves. Yeah. Most of them come with gloves.
Yes.
If you don't, get a pair of gloves.
Latex gloves.
Please.
Yeah. It's not meant for your nails.
Palms are not supposed to be orange.
Yeah. I mean, people are not supposed to be orange.
Also, Oompa Loompas.
Yes. Anyways, it's summer, so the self-tanner is out. So that's just our PSA before this podcast. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Momsplanation. Real life, real moms, real talk.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Momsplanation. Very exciting day today. We have Carly on with us. And Carly is actually from Alberta, which is really exciting. We love chatting with people who are not in our home province and are from around the world and this beautiful country. So, Carly, welcome. Thank you for being on the podcast. How are you tonight?
I'm really good, and I'm super excited to be here. So, thank you very much. And I am from Ontario, actually. Originally.
Are you? Oh, little known fact.
Yeah,
excellent.
I'm a transplant to Alberta, but yeah, so originally from Ontario too.
Awesome. My brother's also a transplant. I think there's a lot out there, actually, that have come from all over the country and settled in Alberta. Where in Ontario are you from originally?
I grew up in southwestern Ontario, so I did my undergraduate degree at the University of Windsor.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Very cool. Yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was born in Burlington.
Oh.
Woo, Burlington.
What? That's where Emily's from. We know Burlington very well. Awesome. Yeah. So what is your life like now out there? Are you a mom? What are you doing? What's your life about?
Yeah, so I am a mom. I actually have twin 2-year-old girls.
Aww.
Fraternal twins, Monroe and Faye.
Monroe!
So cute.
Yeah, they keep us super busy. I'm married to an amazing man who I'm so lucky to have as a stay-at-home parent.
Wow.
Who allows me to follow all my different dreams and passions that I have. So I'm a family doctor in the small town that I live in. And I have a primary focus in mental health for women and specifically mental health for moms.
Amazing.
So, yeah, and that kind of grew out of my own experiences postpartum, right? Like, so I always kind of say I was pretty successful, like most of my life. Things came pretty easily to me. And so when I got pregnant, I assumed like motherhood would be the same thing. Right?
Yeah, like we all do naively. Yes, we think like, oh, we got this. Now, I used to babysit. I know what it's about. Yeah.
Totally. Like, oh, I'm gonna rock this. Like, right?
Yeah.
And so when I ended up becoming pregnant with the twins, which was very exciting, we thought, okay, like this will be a bit harder, but again, like we'll be fine.
Yeah.
For all this sort of stuff.
For sure.
And what I didn't realize is that after delivery is that I had an undiagnosed anxiety disorder that up until pregnancy and delivery really hadn't caused a lot of trouble, right?
Yeah.
It's just been quite motivating and helpful, and it was kind of like that high functioning anxiety that motivates you towards success. And
right.
It really caused a lot of trouble. Right?
Yeah.
But postpartum, it was like a different animal, right?
Okay.
And so it like devoured me, and I was really sick with postpartum mood disorder. And it was interesting because the thing that surprised me is that I saw that in people all the time, right? I saw that happen in women in my own practice. I was the one diagnosing them with it, and when the tables were turned, it's such an all-consuming illness or experience that you often can't see what's happening to you until you're out of it, right?
Yeah.
So through that process, I ended up getting a lot of different supports. I ended up being in a really dark place, and I ended up, going to therapy and eventually being on medication, but also doing a lot of digging into how I could help myself recover from this, so that, I didn't feel so powerless and I didn't feel so overwhelmed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I did get better, and I was very blessed to have amazing support. And when I finally started getting better and I went back to work, I saw the same symptoms in women that I've seen all the time. Yeah. Right? And I was talking to them about the same thing that I had been doing, and it was working for them. And they were like, wow, that made a huge difference. Even my perspective on what I think anxiety is about and what it's like and what it's doing for us and why we have it was helpful for them. And so over the last 18 months or so, I've been helping women in the office, and less so with like the medical management of anxiety, and more so with kind of these mindset things that I teach people now that I do as an anxiety coach. So I've, since the beginning of this year, taken a lot of my practices that I do outside of medical practices, just my kind of like coaching practices, and brought them online to reach a bigger variety of women, because I was helping women one-on-one in the office so often that I'm like, there has to be more women I can help doing this, because it's so important, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's kind of what brought me to where we are now. I'm just trying to spread my message, meet more women, and do as much teaching on this as I can, because the systems and the strategies that I teach are, one, very complementary to, if you do need to go on medications, which is sometimes a very important thing for people to do. Sometimes it's not right? It's not right for everybody. It can be very complementary to going to therapy and going to support groups and all that sort of stuff. I kind of give it from a different standpoint. So that's where I am now. And I've been loving it. I'm working with some women one-on-one in coaching, and then I actually am just launching last night. Actually, I just launched a group coaching program that's going to start August 1st, and I'm really excited.
Perfect.
About that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
So to take you back a little bit, because I know, with our listeners and with the group of people that, subscribe to the podcast, it's all about relatability, right? So to take you back to that place where you were, can you sort of describe for us what was happening for you? The emotions, the actions, like what did your life look like at that point? And what were the things that you did for yourself that helped you to get to where you are today?
Yeah, no, definitely. So the big things that I didn't realize at the time that were symptoms of a mood disorder, like really going rampant, were the anger and the irritability that I experienced.
And how would that manifest for you?
Yeah, so my husband still to this day kind of teases me because our baby monitor is broken because I threw it at the wall.
Okay.
Right? Like it was like explosive rage.
Right.
I was extremely rigid in schedules, right? So a lot of women are perfectionistic by nature, and that went on overdrive.
Right.
When my anxiety was out of control, I was like rigid to the minute. Like I was getting furious with my 2-month-old babies when they weren't sleeping when I needed them to, and that is not how I am. Right? Like this is not who I am, truthfully. And so there was a lot of times that I didn't even want to trust myself because I couldn't trust myself because I didn't know how explosive that rage would be and what it would do. Right. So that was one thing that really showed me that things were off the rails.
Right.
I was really emotionally labile, like crying. Of course, everybody has baby blues to a degree, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people think that true postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety is you're sad a lot of the time. For me, that wasn't the case. It was actually more the constant vigilance, waiting for the next thing to happen, and being really snappy and really irritable, and then that rigidity, to schedules, to eating behavior, to they couldn't wear that, they had to wear this, really, really rigid. Yeah. And I think that happens to women a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's why we think it's normal. Right?
Yeah.
When it's usually not, right? I think if I only had my two girls, so I don't have the benefit of having like second and third children to see myself in a different way. You know, I feel like some moms say, oh, you have the third because you had the second. You learned so much, right, through the first and second.
Yeah.
So I don't have the benefit of saying that, and I don't know what I would be like the second time around.
Right.
But I think when it's your first child or your second child and you're experiencing those really intense symptoms, sometimes it's made to feel like it's normal. I remember asking a colleague who I love, and I'm not speaking badly about it, but I remember saying, you know, like, how do you approach a postpartum patient who has tendencies of OCD and severe anxiety? And his words were, well, don't they all have that? Right?
Yeah.
And that's, right? And that's just a disconnect between what society believes is motherhood and what, you know, mental illness and the postpartum period looks like, right?
So in this time when you're going through all this, what is your self-talk and your inner, like, monologue, inner dialogue like?
Oh my God, it was like the things now that I think about, I think back and it breaks my heart, right? To think of how sick I was and to not know. So lots of these kids would be better off without me.
Yep.
You're gonna make me cry. You know, these kids would be better off without me. My husband could do a better job.
Yeah.
No, we hear it. We hear you.
I've definitely been there.
Yeah.
I've definitely said all those things to myself and more. You're not alone, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's you know, it's hard to go back to those places, and it's not my intention to, you know, upset you, of course. But, you know, for moms that are listening that tell themselves that they think these horrible things and that they're alone is a real tragedy.
Yeah.
And one thing that I, you know, want people to understand is that it is not unique. They're not alone. And all of the horrible things that you're saying to yourself, there's someone else out there that has said the same things, that have been in the same place. So to have a story of, you know, of being in those dark places, to go to a place of light and positivity and forward momentum is really inspiring. So,
and the thing that scared me at that time that I also didn't realize until I did some reading, and that I ask all my postpartum moms this, is about those scary thoughts that we have in the postpartum period. There's an amazing book called Dropping the Baby and Other Scary Thoughts. And it's those scary thoughts, right? It's the ones like, what if I drop my kid and his head smashes on the tile? Like these sorts of thoughts that you're like, what kind of mother am I?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
How can I be having that thought, right?
Yeah.
And in this book, and I'm paraphrasing, so forgive me, but in the book, I'm pretty sure it says, you know, of all the parents they surveyed, dads and moms, 90% of them admitted to having terrifying thoughts about, you know, either intentionally harming their child or accidentally harming their child. And that the silence around it is devastating, right?
It's deafening. For sure. And
so that is one of the things that I talk about a lot too, because I remember having those thoughts, you know, whether they were, you know, terrible things that I won't share ever with anyone, or whether they were, what if I just accidentally slipped and fell right now?
Right.
And they're terrifying. And that in itself is part of postpartum, but it's also part of postpartum mood disorder. So
it's a real tragedy, the way that we project this idealism of like parenting and perfection and what it's supposed to be, you know, onto everyone in a way that it forces people to hide their struggles, right? So, you know, especially in the age of social media and access to so much information, it's so hard to, you know, be your authentic self and to struggle because there's so much imagery of like perfection like coming at you. It's like, you know, you can't be a good mother unless you know, have this, or your kid dresses like that, or eats this kind of food, or, you know, like all these crazy things. And, you know, the reality is it's like the hardest job ever. It's so emotionally taxing on you as a human being, as an individual. It's amazing that people continue to do it and stay alive. Right? And have so many kids. Like even myself, like having 4 kids, I don't know, you know, like how I've continued to do it. Like I love them, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. And this fourth one really like put me over the edge. So, you know, like you said, you don't have a second pregnancy to, you know, sort of compare to. But for me, it was like the second pregnancy was easier and the postpartum was easier. And then the third was easy. But then the fourth came and it like ruined my life. Like it, you know, shattered my world. My, like everything has been so, and even 10 months postpartum, everything is still like really, really chaotic and crazy. So, it's definitely very crazy. So for you, when you were like in that place, like what are the things that you did for yourself to get out of it?
Yeah. So it sounds super kitschy, but I like read all the things. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do yoga. I'm gonna learn to meditate. I'm gonna eat green smoothies. I was doing all the things. Like I'm a very, I have a lot of autonomy, and I'm like, I will figure this out. I am very competent, right?
Yeah.
So I did a ton of digging.
Yeah.
I tried all the things, and I say all the things because that ended up being kind of a turning point for me.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I still kind of preach to this day is that I made sure at the end of each day I had taken at least 10 minutes, like away from everything, to do something I actually liked.
Right.
Like, and I know that everybody's like, you can't self-care your way out of burnout, and I agree, but I do think that it was, to me, a lifeline. Like, I really, when I started to see the connection that on the days that I didn't take, 20 minutes to do some yoga in the basement while the kids were upstairs doing something, I was more irritable, I was more depressed, I was more anxious, right? So I really made it a religious habit. Like, quite frankly, I use that word, like, intentionally. It became a religious habit to do something self-care-ish. And usually for me, it's exercise. It doesn't have to be for everybody, obviously. But for me, it was exercise. I had to move my body every day. So that was a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
I did really get into, I did a psychology undergraduate degree as well, so I've always been fascinated with the mind and how our mind thinks and all the thoughts that we hear and in our minds and all these. So I really dug deeply into mindfulness and being aware and kind of cognitive behavioral strategies to work with my thoughts, and that is a lot of what I teach now because I find that super helpful.
Okay.
I ended up going to an amazing therapist who was able to call me on a lot of like the things that I didn't realize I was having. Black and white thinking is huge in women, right? Like you're a perfect mother, and then you make one mistake, well now you're a complete failure, right? Not being able to see the shades of gray between, but look at all the other things you did today.
Right.
So she was really good at that, right? So that was really critical. And then all of those things put together, I remember having a conversation with a really wise friend of mine, and I said to her, like, people who exercise 7 days a week and go to therapy and meditate every morning and do all these things aren't depressed and aren't anxious. So what is wrong with me? And she said, do you think maybe you could consider medication? Like, I was so stubborn to that point because I was so thinking to myself, I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm a doctor.
You're a medical professional.
Right?
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. And I actually was a huge advocate. I'm a huge advocate for medications.
Yeah.
In the right patient, because it can be hugely helpful.
Yeah.
But in myself, it wasn't like I was not allowing myself to go there. And she said this to me, like, Carly, what if this could be better for you? Like, what if this did make a change? What if there was a biochemical thing in your body? And I'm like, well, of course there is. That's what mood disorder is to a part, but I still just couldn't see that until she made that statement, like, yeah, no, you're right. People who do all those things and still feel depressed, like, there's something else you need to do.
Yeah.
So I ended up seeing somebody and starting on medication, and that was a huge turning point. I remember feeling within, like, and this is not common, but I remember feeling within like a week, wow, oh my God, I feel like myself again.
Yeah.
And I was really able to integrate all those things that I had learned.
Right.
All the strategies that I had learned and I had taught myself, I couldn't get to use them because my anxiety was so high, right? So I just needed, some pharmacological support at the time to tone it down, like turn down the noise up here, so that I could get some traction with the therapy that I was going through and the things that I was going through. So that was those were the nuts and bolts of essentially what helped me recover.
Yeah.
And then now I really, really depend heavily on still my regular self-care and exercise. Now I've been off medications for, I don't know now, like 6 to 9 months probably.
Wow.
And I feel rate, right? So that's another thing that I think people need to hear.
Yes, for sure. That it's not permanent.
Right? Just because you go on medications doesn't mean you're going to be on them forever. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
A tool
to
get you through a hard time.
Yeah.
And now I just depend really heavily on my self-care. I'm very, very mindfully aware of if it's going to be a busy week next week, I make a point of sit down with my journal and like write down all the days I'm going to exercise, and I write down all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just make it a very intentional practice to do ongoing anxiety management for myself all the time.
Right.
One of the things that I talk about with, just stepping back to medications really quickly, I use an analogy when I'm talking to moms or anyone really in my practice, but especially with women. I use this analogy because I think that there is still, unfortunately, so much stigma and shame around mental illness and having to take happy pills, quote unquote, those sorts of things. There's a lot of stigma around that.
Yeah.
And so I use an analogy that, if you can imagine that we're all like our little sailboats, right, on this sea of life.
Yeah.
And we're all on the decks of our boats, and sometimes it's a beautiful sunny day and life is easy, and we're just, sun tanning or doing our thing up there, and it's calm and everything is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes the waves get a little choppy and we're hanging on, but we're still okay. We're still like hanging on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then something really big, like a big wave comes, and it just knocks your butt right into the water, right? And that's like the birth of a child, the death of a close loved one,
yes,
like really anything, just like tumultuous life change, and those waves take you right into the water, right? And when you're in the water, it's like everything you can do to keep your head up, right?
Yes.
You're swimming so hard.
Yeah.
You're like, I just gotta keep swimming. And that honestly is what I feel like depression and anxiety are like.
Yes,
when you're
for
in the
sure.
water, right?
Yeah.
You're swimming, and you can't get back to your boat because you can't even get your head above the water.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great analogy.
Right? So where I see medications is like me on the deck of the boat, or whoever your trusty local doctor is that, it throws you just a life ring, right?
Yeah.
Here's your life, right?
Yeah.
And it's not going to bring you back to the boat. It's not helping you swim better. It's just holding you up for a bit.
Right.
Like it's just keeping you up so your head's above the water so that you can do all the things to swim back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I like that analogy because that, it reminds people that you don't have to stay on them forever. And
yes,
it's just a tool in the tool chest.
Yeah. Yeah, well, a lot of people feel like there's a negative sort of association with being medicated, that, sort of is a way of admitting that you're crazy or that there's really something wrong with you that you can't, manage through on your own. And I think that, in the era of, mom groups and social media, like the shaming is hard, right?
Yeah.
Like people love to go on, online forums and talk about how like, oh, I didn't have to have medication, or say whatever they want to about the mom who's struggling and has to take the medication. So I think people, shy away from it because it seems like admitting defeat, right? Like it's admitting some sort of failure in themselves, right? And I think because...
Well, and that's the process I even went through for myself.
Yeah.
Right? As I was like avoiding. I don't need it. And then it's like, which was so ironic because I was the one to say to people, like, you don't have to be a hero. This is no different than diabetes. Like, let's just treat the illness.
Right. Right.
And when it was this return, even I had a hard time adjusting, which is why I like to be vulnerable about that and be transparent about that, is that I had all the tools, I had all the training, I knew all the strategies.
Yeah.
And I do this for other people, and I still wouldn't go on medications for a while.
Yeah.
Right? So
for sure. Yeah, it's a really important point. And I think that, the whole analogy that you used too about how, the birth of a child is like a giant wave that knocks you off a boat. I think we make childbirth and welcoming a new life into a family such a positive and glorious occasion that nobody really identifies it as this huge, monumental, life-changing experience that has a lot of negative elements to it. It's just supposed to be glorious and beautiful because the baby's so cute and there's a new life here, and there's all these things, but it's like actually, like I literally can remember after having my son, my first child, crying and thinking, what the hell did I do to my life? Like, nobody told me that this was how it was going to be, or I was going to feel this way. Yeah. And I just felt like I, you know, almost like your analogy, like I was drowning. Like, I can't believe that anyone thought this was a good idea. This was a terrible idea.
I know. I had the exact same experience. I was in the hospital still with the girls. I think I was 2 or 3 days postpartum. And it was 3 a.m. or some ungodly hour, right?
Yeah.
When you're like not used to being awake. And,
yes.
And I remember like staring at these 2 like aliens. That like I love them, of course, but I was like, what?
Yes. Yeah.
And sobbing hard, crying, right? About what has happened to my life.
Yep.
And the interesting thing was I had a really lovely senior postpartum nurse on, and she came in and she looked at me and she said, "Oh, honey, this is the day the tears come."
Yeah.
Huh.
And I thought, well, why didn't they tell you that in the orientation?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah. That's right.
So much for letting me know, right?
Yeah.
Like you see this all the time, right? Like that this happens to women, but that's not what we talk about until you have these awesome podcasts where we talk about it, and we're like, no, dude, like on the 3rd day, you're like, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Who thought this was good? Right? That's normal. Right?
Yeah.
It's not sometimes.
But it's so funny because like when you're the person who's talking to a mom-to-be about like how difficult the struggle is, everyone's like, no, don't say that. Like, don't do that. Don't scare them.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't want to be the one that lied to them about it being wonderful.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. And you know what? It's funny because it's not funny, but it's funny because my sister-in-law just gave birth for the first time. And, I tried to impart some of my knowledge without being overbearing before she had the baby, like about, it's going to be difficult, but if you have support and you reach out for help, it's going to be fine, but it's going to be a lot of challenges. And like this first month, her baby just was a month yesterday, has been like a shit show, like an absolute shit show. And she's like, I don't know, nobody said anything to me about, like, I didn't even consider that this was a possibility. And I'm like, I know, because nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to scare you because you're already in it. But it's like, we're trying to save people's feelings at what expense, right? At the expense of
being so unprepared for this.
Yeah. That's right.
Even in the prenatal classes, they teach you everything about the baby coming but no one actually sat down and said, they're like, oh, well, if you feel sad, here's a pamphlet.
Yeah, like call this number if you feel sad.
Yeah.
But nobody's like, oh, you're going to feel homicidal, so you should call this number. Like nobody says that.
Yeah.
Like nobody says, like, you're going to want to kill someone.
FYI.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, you might think about killing,
Yeah.
You might think about killing multiple people.
Also,
Nobody tells you that.
Yeah.
But interesting, I don't know about you guys and your experience, because I felt the exact same way. Like, wow, this is not talked about enough, obviously, with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But what I also noticed is that a lot of pregnant moms do have a bit of blinders on.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not their own fault. It's not their fault. It's that there's so much of this unsolicited advice.
Well, and it's a very romanticized period, right? Like, it's like the beginning of a relationship. It's all like euphoria and like very romantic. And it's like, oh, and now, we take all these maternity pictures now that are so like beautiful. And, you're just this glorious person, this being. And it's like,
you're sweating your ass off and your back is
one of my favorite things that has happened recently is after Amy Schumer gave birth, she posted this like epic picture on her Instagram of her sitting on the toilet with her IV attached, and it says something like MILF alert or something like it was just the most real representation of postpartum birth that I've ever seen out in social media.
Yeah, and Jillian Harris did it too. Remember, she had her diaper on.
Yeah.
She took a picture of her diaper, and like it was just so real, and it was so nice to see that because Beyonce's in like a gold-studded dress 2 days after she has her baby,
or Meghan Markle's wearing a white fucking dress the day after she gives birth, and we all know she's insanguinating into a diaper underneath it, but it's like, why are you wearing a white dress the day after you give birth? It's like giving the wrong message. Like the message is wrong. Like, why? I can't. I just, but you're absolutely right. The new moms to be are just in this, bubble. Mm-hmm. It's like a bubble, right?
Yeah.
Because I do feel like maybe somebody tried to tell me. I don't remember.
Right. No, you would have remembered. I feel like.
My sister, for example, had my niece 1 year before I had the girls. And she was very open. She straight up calls the first 3 months the 100 days of darkness. Like, that's what she told me it was going to be like, right?
Yes.
And I heard that, but I don't think I actually heard it at the time. And I think, again, everyone's 100 days of darkness is different.
For sure, yeah.
But I think sometimes, moms, they don't either want to hear it or they don't believe it. Or, like you said, they're like, no, it's going to be this beautiful experience.
Yeah, I'm going to be different.
Yeah.
Yes. I love kids. I've done babysitting. I love kids. Yeah, and this one's going to be mine. It's so true. It's so true. It's funny because it's like the 100 days of darkness is happening to you, and it's like you hear it, but it's like, I don't take that on. I can't feel that. I don't know what that looks like. To me, it just sounds like, you're not sleeping. Is that what the problem is? Is that why it's dark? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you can't, it's so hard to impart it when you have to live it, to really feel what the energy is. And that's what I think the biggest challenge is. And that's why the stuff that you're doing, I feel, is so important, because it's like, we can do everything we can to say what is real to a mom to be, even if it's your second or third child, even if you have experience, we can share, we can talk, there can be dialogue. But until shit really hits the fan for you and you're in it and the trenches are deep, you're not going to be looking for the help that you need, right? Until you're there. So that's why I think it's so important that people are aware that resources are available, and this is what they look like, and this is the experience of people who have been in those dark places, and this is how they got out, and this is what works, right?
Absolutely. That's pretty much been my mission from starting this, is that I wish I had somebody in that moment.
Yes.
Which was a challenge, because even in that, my illness, made me isolate.
Yes.
Made me think that I couldn't tell anyone because they were going to judge me, all those things, right? So I did reach out in that moment, but I wish I had somebody to walk me through it. And that's what I try to do now, is I'm like, let's walk through this together.
Yeah.
Right? I will walk you through it. I will hear all your terrible things and just be witness to the fact that this experience is really hard right now, and it's okay that we're getting through, right?
Yeah, it's the messaging of it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be fine, and you don't have to do everything by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I run postpartum groups, in my professional capacity, and I do all of that same stuff. And those are moms within the first 6 weeks to 6 months, typically, that I've seen them, and those are super powerful groups.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But a big part of what I'm passionate about is I step even further from postpartum mental health just into maternal mental health. In the fact that I think that becoming a mother changes your mind completely, and that you can be unwell from a maternal mental illness far past the postpartum period.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I have some of my clients, their patients or their patients, they might as well be patients, their children are 9 and 11. And they're still dealing with severe anxiety, and they're still not quite recovered, and they have that hypervigilance, they can't sleep, all this stuff, right? So just to broaden the discussion to the fact that it's not just postpartum, it's moms.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Support in general,
for sure.
Which is why these podcasts are so awesome to be, spread the word. Let's be vulnerable. Let's take that freaking mask off.
Yeah.
That is everything's perfect, and I love my children, and don't get me wrong, we all love our children, but that it's it's sunshine and roses and rainbows and everything all the time. Because it is not. That's 5% of the time.
No, let's get real. Everyone's counting down the minutes to bedtime every fucking day.
100%,
Don't
100%. Lie.
even think that you're not doing that, because we all know that we're all doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's the feeling of anxiety and the things that happen over the course of motherhood, if you don't deal with it, they stay with you, and they're always there. Because my kids range in age from 11 to 10 months. And I'll tell you, things that I did not deal with from my first are still with me with my fourth. Do you know what I mean? Because I was the person that didn't ask for help ever. Like, I was that person that was like, no, I don't need help. I'm just going to do it on my own. You know, sort of that stubborn mentality. I also did not want to be judged. I didn't want people to know what my struggles were. You know, I was raised in a family where it was like, we don't air our dirty laundry. And, you know, we sweep it under the rug. That was like sort of the way that we dealt with things. We don't want people to know what's going on. And so when I had my fourth child, the reason this podcast is because I literally thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to kill myself. I thought I was going to die. And I couldn't do it anymore. And I felt so alone in the moment. And similar to you, started doing reading and started, you know, doing my best to take care of myself, and realized and felt very strongly that there wasn't enough out there for people to share. For people to hear, like, what are the resources? Where can I go? Who can I talk to? Who else is going through this? You know, like, I just felt inundated with social media posts about, like, how amazing it is to have a baby. And, you know, here's my postpartum body. Don't I look amazing? And, like, you know, my kids are all wearing matching outfits. You know what I mean? Like, in my perfect house. And it's like, you know, my house looks like, you know, trolls live here. Like, they just run around and leave a mess everywhere and garbage, and like, it's ridiculous. Looks like a frat house party has happened here, like, every day of the week. It's ridiculous. But nobody says that. Nobody posts about that.
That's right.
You know? Nobody's talking about that. So it's very true. It's like, it doesn't matter what age your kids are. If you had them 2 months ago or 10 years ago, the struggles are the same, you know? Yeah. The feeling, I mean, of the struggles are the same. So talk to us a little bit about how your practice has evolved for you. Like, how is it, what was it before, what is it now, and how do people benefit from your experience and expertise?
So my clinical practice, like my medical practice? Yeah, so I am a rural generalist.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a GP. I trained at a rural residence program.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of like, this is like super kitschy, but I'm like a bit of a jack of all trades. So I do, and I still do a lot of the different things that I started with. So I do emergency department work, I do deliveries, I work in the hospital with inpatient work, and then I also have a clinic that I work out of a couple days a week.
Awesome.
And a lot of it is, you know, like cradle to grave or care. So we see, you know, the moms, the new babies and the little babies and the toddlers and the families, and all the way up until death and parents and all that. So, and that was how I started a lot of my practice, and now it is very much evolved to probably 50-50 of still doing family practice, because I love general family practice.
Yep.
But a good 50% of it is referrals from colleagues, actually, for, you know, this mom's really struggling with her mental health, or can you help her with her anxiety? Actually, a big thing that I work with women on, less in the office, more in coaching, is on like assertiveness and how to stop being passive, and how to start to speak up for themselves, because I genuinely believe society has conditioned us to just be passive, compliant people, and that causes a ton of resentment and anxiety. Anyways.
For sure.
So I do that a lot. And so those are, and in the office, I do obviously more medication management and also this kind of coaching type support, and I would refer out to therapy from the office. Right. And then in my shift to my online business, I do, the majority of my stuff is surrounding mindset and I call it thought management. You know, how to deal with those overthinking all the time, how to deal with the ruminating thoughts, how to handle panic attacks. A big part of what I do is sleep, because like momsomnia is real, and I think it is only made worse when you have an unmanaged anxiety disorder. Yep, absolutely.
Momsomnia, I love it.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
I said momsomnia. I've never heard that. I love it.
That's a good term.
So I do a lot of sleep stuff, like kind of sleep coaching and like different habit developments and stuff like that around sleep. So and then I work with clients privately, one-on-one, to do that kind of process, like I talked to, walk you through this anxiety recovery process and what it looks like. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I just launched a group, and so that's going to be kind of like the culmination of all of this that's gone on with me and my clinical experience, my coaching experience, all this stuff packed into like one jam-packed thing that I'm hoping to reach women with as much as I can to help them get through this program.
Okay.
Or this whole experience. Yeah.
So to break it down, if people do not live in Alberta where you have your practice and care for patients in person and clients in person, how do they access you? And who is your target client? Like, who do you work with? Who are you looking to work with? What are things, so people who are listening, like what symptoms would make them a good candidate to benefit from your program?
Sure. So the first part of your question was, how do people access me? So I do all my coaching virtually over like Zoom calls and things like that. Perfect. So that I can reach a wider audience. I have clients in the States. I have one client overseas.
Okay.
So there's that. And so that's through my website. It's just carlycrewe.com.
Okay.
There's private group coaching there.
Okay.
I use Instagram as my main kind of platform for communicating. I just really love the format of it.
Okay.
And I use kind of more, I try to write as vulnerable posts and helpful posts as I can on there. Definitely reach me through there, and I love taking messages from people and kind of working through different issues.
Yep.
And then I do have on Facebook, you made a sticker earlier about a mom's group, and I agree with that sticker, I did create a mom's group on Facebook, but I did it and it's intended anyways to be done quite differently, because the moms groups on Facebook, oh my God, right? I started when I was sick, when I was ill. And I was looking for support. I went on these moms groups. It was like moms with anxiety and depression, and I'm like, great, perfect. And I will never say anything wrong about people who are in those groups, but like those groups were a bit depressing.
They're toxic. It is not the place to go to get well.
Right? It's not a good place to get help.
No,
right?
no, it's not.
I was like, oh my God, like you have like these terrible things happening to you, and if anything, it just like shapes you from feeling bad.
Yes,
like,
that's right.
It's not that bad, right? Anyways, so I was like, hey, how do I build a community of women that actually feel like I feel, that we can, take back this power and not be victims and not just indulge in this motherhood like madness? How can I create a community of women that are like actually forward focused and like, motherhood is super hard, so let's equip ourselves with the tools and the strategies and the genuine support to make it the best we can. And so that group's called the Anxiety Proof Mama Group. It's on Facebook. It's free. And I just did a live assertiveness training in it last night. That was super fun. I was teaching a bunch of like how to say no to those things that they don't want to do, but they end up like saying yes to, And so that was a really fun training. And I intend to do more of those coming up. So you can find that on Facebook. It's just Anxiety Proof Mama Group. And the whole motto or mantra, what is it? Manifesto? I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. All those,
Right? For the group is really like, future forward focused, like it getting better, not just like we're not sitting and wallowing in bitchy mind. Like that's just not going to be the flavor that's going to happen in that group. So,
we're not co-signing bullshit. We're not sitting in our shit. It's forward momentum. We're on the way to get better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I'm often asking, I'll post different things like, oh, this happened to me this week. And so when I was having this really terrible moment, this is a strategy I tried and it flopped. Or this is a strategy I tried and it worked like a charm. So here's an idea. Right. Next time you want to strengthen your child, here's what I did. Try it. Maybe it'll work for you. Right. So just like very action focused and practical is what I try to do in that group.
Awesome. Okay, so carlycrewe.com. What is your Instagram handle for everyone out there?
It's also Carly Crewe. It's all pretty simple.
Okay.
It's all just my first and last name.
Awesome. And the Facebook group again is
It's the Anxiety Proof Mama Group.
The Anxiety Proof Mama Group. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got that. That's awesome. It's funny that you brought up the obligatory yes. I think I need that in my life. I need to take that. I need to be part of this group, basically. Yep. It's so funny. I firmly believe that like what you put out there, especially lately, like you get what you need when you put it out there. So I've put myself out there in this capacity, like quite vulnerably, but it's amazing because I'm able to talk to people like you who like I need to talk to, right? Like you're someone that needs to be in my life that I need to talk to. So it's really amazing. So your clients can access you anytime, or do you only have certain days that you work with clients, just so people know like what they can kind of expect?
Virtually reach out like literally anytime.
Okay.
Especially one-on-ones. I take one-on-one clients. Like, if somebody really wants to work with one-on-one, I'll take you anytime.
Right.
I love working with one-on-ones. It's my most transformative kind of experience with ladies, and I love developing that deep relationship.
Yeah.
Group is going to be probably like 2 or 3 times a year. So
Okay.
like I said, group is going to start August 1st.
Okay.
But I'm launching an enrollment right now. They're going to be small groups, but or a small group or multiple. If I get people that I need to like stretch it, I just don't want the groups to be too big.
Right.
Right.
Really diverse,
Yeah, for sure.
So eventually it'll be like 3 very small groups.
Okay.
But yeah, you can definitely reach out to me kind of 24/7. I work with clients, like when I work with one-on-one clients, it's like to our schedule. So I will put out a bunch of times that I'm available, and moms can jump on and be like, yeah, this is the time that works for me, and we set up the time for the Zoom call. And it's once a week, typically on the one-on-one coaching, but then I allow my one-on-one clients to have 24-hour access to me during the course of their 3-month coaching program, so that when they are in that crappy moment, they can say, Carly, what do I do right now? Like, I'm having a really rough day, right? And you can reach out and I can try to help them and support them in that way. Because I do genuinely want to be that person that walks with you. That's what I always use as in my messaging. Like, I'll walk with you, like, you don't have to do this alone anymore.
Yeah.
And I've been through it. So you're not alone in it.
Yeah.
If you need somebody, I will walk with you.
That's
and
amazing.
I know it's hard. And I know it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
Yeah.
Right? But
yeah, for sure.
Together,
That's amazing. That's a beautiful
And how
sentiment.
does it work? Like, do you, like, if someone has benefits, like, how does that work? Like, how does all that work? Because when you're in a different province with that, because OHIP, you're not on a OHIP, right? Like, that's because you're Alberta. Like, yeah, how does all that work?
Right. Yeah. So I get asked that a lot, whether coaching is covered, like, by provincial, and because of my career. Right. So obviously, if I see my patients in the office and it's in my practice, that's obviously covered by our Alberta Health and our healthcare. Coaching, because it's a relatively new practice and it's not, there's no official governing.
So not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think it's covered, but I always encourage my clients, that if you have a Flex Health spending account or something, or an extended health spending account, like that could be something, right? If you said, well, this person, she does this, or whatever coach that you want to hire, if it was health related, there's so many health coaches now, and it should be a covered service, right?
Yeah.
But so for at this point, no, so it's private pay.
Okay.
But yeah. So
I think that needs to change, because I think benefits
sure.
should cover something like this. Like, my benefits just cut out naturopathy medicine, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like they keep cutting, but they don't add. They just keep cutting and cutting and cutting, and this is so important. Coaching.
For sure.
This needs to be covered.
Yeah.
We need to.
I'm working with a coach now myself, and I've been an advocate, like, through my coaching training and everything that I did. I was like, oh, this is so cool. I love this process. But until you work with a coach one-on-one, like, that is incredible. I don't know if either of you have ever worked with coaches one-on-one, but, like, that one-on-one support, somebody showing up every single day, every single part of me for you and your goals and your things, right, is, like, so powerful, right? Like, the momentum.
It's a personal trainer for your brain. Like, it's great.
It honestly is, right? And to be able to be like, and this is what I do, like, they'll come back and, like, hey, what's happening for you right now? Well, I had this encounter, and I'm like, okay, well, what happened there? We dig right in, right? We peel back all the layers of the onion, and then they can process it, we can figure it out, and we come up with different strategies to make it better next time. So, yeah.
Perfect.
It's super powerful.
Amazing.
So, just to go back to your seminar, that's your group seminar that's happening starting August 1st. What are sort of the criteria for candidates to join this group?
Yes, you did ask that earlier, and I didn't get to it.
That's okay. Don't worry. I asked like 3-fold, 5-fold questions. I'm still learning about question asking.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of, like, criteria necessarily.
Okay.
I think that you probably even have to be a mom, because I think women in general, this is extremely applicable.
Yeah.
I tend to message towards moms because I can relate to moms.
Right.
But I can relate to women too. So yeah. So 1, you're a woman.
Yes.
2, I guess I can represent you, but 2, you have anxiety, and that's actually a trickier one than you think, because a lot of women don't realize they have anxiety.
Yeah.
They think that they, like, they can't shut their mind off, or they can't sleep that well, or, they ruminate, or they overthink a lot, but they don't identify that as anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually say, like, okay, you have anxiety, or, like, you can't shut your mind off. You can't, you overthink everything. you feel like you're just waiting for the next shoe to drop all the time.
Right.
You're constantly keyed up and on edge, right? You're snapping at your kids and husband because you feel like you can't handle it anymore.
Right.
Right? So these women that come to me, and I say those statements because that's what they tell me.
Yeah.
When they come to me, they're like, I feel like I am so overwhelmed all the time.
Yes.
I don't know how to handle life anymore.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, you're my people. Come in here. I will help you, you know?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I don't like to paint this picture that I'm going to take over and all the overwhelm and all the difficulty and everything's going to be gone.
Yes.
That is completely false.
Right.
But what I do, I think, anyways, and what I've done for myself at least and for clients, is that I equip you with the tools to handle like the shitstorm better.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I can't make your kids, be less chaotic and fight less, but I can give you the tools to control what happens up here a little bit more, so that you can get through it better.
Right, and subsequently enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right? And like show up and love it.
Yeah, and be
Like,
present and not, just be a pod that walks around your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I do have a caveat, I guess, that just came to mind too, and I think this is where my professional training really comes into play.
Okay.
If you're very ill with a mental disorder, which is very possible, like I was.
Right.
I commented on that, how like I was actually too sick to do the work.
Yeah.
To do the cognitive work.
Yeah.
Right. Then sometimes you're not coachable.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why I always take the opportunity to speak to every potential client on the phone and really screen them for how severe their illness is.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if I, in my professional capacity, feel like, oh no, my dear, like I really think you need to look at medications, or I really need you to see a therapist, I am scared of how ill you are.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the right person for you, and it would not be professionally or even ethically or personally acceptable for me to assume I can fix that. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm always the very first one to say, like if I ever think during our coaching process that you would be better served by some other professional or myself even in my professional capacity, right? Like by a physician or by, a therapist, a psychiatrist. If I think that, I'll be the first to tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because my end goal in this is to get you feeling better. It doesn't have to be me that does it. It's more, it's so important to me that people feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing.
So that's one of the criteria, right? If
awesome.
you're really sick,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. And I'm going to tell you that I'm probably not right for you.
Right.
But if you are, if you've done some work, you're ready to do the work, because you have to show up, right?
Yeah.
You work with the coach, you have to show up. You have to show up and do the work. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
And you're ready to actually make these changes. You're open to, learning some different ways to work with your mind. You're open to new concepts of self-care and what that might look like, and how you can, work your life a little bit to support your health. You're my girl.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
This has been incredible. Thank you so much for being on this podcast. What you're doing is amazing. I'm blown away.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, what is so interesting is like you can go on someone's website and you can see their, Instagram profile and all those things, and yours is all amazing. But talking to you and hearing you, your experience and describe what your goals are and what you're actually doing and attempting to do for people, it's a huge thing. It makes a huge difference. So I'm really, really excited for, people to hear what you have to say. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much for reaching out to us. I'm super grateful to you.
Well, I am also so grateful that you guys had me on, and I'm glad that it resonates with you, because I am, as you can probably tell, super passionate about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And doing the podcast, I've got to get myself out there somehow.
Yes.
I have to hear things.
Yeah. It's very important.
Really, not from I think this is going to sound silly, but it's really not from a place of self-serving or making money. I have a job. I have a great job, right? It's really just I just need to help more ladies fix this problem. And so I really appreciate you guys giving me this platform.
Thank you for being on it.
And I love what you're doing. I love how down to earth and vulnerable this is, and just raw, right? That's what we need more of. This, raw exposure.
Yep, that's my thing. That's my jam.
Raw.
After having my fourth child and feeling so isolated and alone, I got really fed up. I was like, I can't believe that women are like this. We have this this thing out there in society where it's like, oh, women have to build each other up and lift each other up, but it's just words. It's just crap that women are saying out of their mouth that they don't actually mean.
Yeah.
You know, because women are still raising little girls who are bullies and assholes and are not nice to other girls. And, you know, moms are still bullying each other for, you know,
God knows,
making themselves feel better or whatever their reasonings are. You know, they're not building each other up. They're eating their popcorn while they watch each other, you know, tear each other down. Like, there's so much bullshit out there that, you know, I just got fed up, and I want to talk more candidly and more honestly with people like you and people who are willing to say, you know, enough is enough. We need to take care of each other. You know, moms are important. They're just as important as new babies. They're just as important as children. You know, they deserve to be respected and cared for, and they deserve time to themselves, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. I could go on forever, but I won't. Because I'm sure you probably want to have dinner or something. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure. It was such a pleasure. So what we're going to do is we'll put all of the information for Carly and her business and everything on our website. It will be on our Instagram when this podcast airs, so you guys can find her, and it will be before August 1st. So if you are interested in joining her group, all the information will be available to you, okay? So thank you, Carly. We hope you have a fabulous day.
Love it.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
You've been rolling with the Momies on the Momsplanation.